Good morning, good morning. Hey, Facebook. Hello, everyone. I have a message to share this morning. Let me get my stuff together. It's early. Happy Tuesday. Woo. Hope everyone is feeling good. It's a new day, so that's a blessing in itself. I have two messages today. I have a word from God. One is for the parents, and then the other one is to leaders. Okay? So, God gives me things to write down in my hour, and I write it down exactly as I hear it. And the best way for me to give it to you is reading it, right? All right, I'm here now. Okay, so I have a word for parents. I think we know that our children is back in school. All the kids are going back to school. So, you know, summer's over and a lot of people's schedules are changing. Parents are back. Parents at work, sports started back up, all of these different things, right? So the word from God is for parents to be involved, okay? You have to stay more involved with your children, okay? You have to stay more involved with your children. That means to know where they are going, okay? So kids are going out, teenagers, even the young kids, they go outside and play. Know where your children are going. Understand, pay attention to who they're playing with, okay? Go with them. When your kids are going somewhere, go with them. Turn on their location. A lot of the kids have cell phones. Y'all give these kids phones. My kid, he got a phone, okay? Turn on their location. Tell them to share their location, right? If you send your child to school and they have a phone, tell them to turn on their location. Talk to them about stranger danger. Listen, I've been talking to my kid about stranger danger forever, ever since he was a little boy. I know it seems old, but parents, you have to talk to your kids about strangers. They still shouldn't be talking to strangers. There is such a high trafficking rate, it is ridiculous, right? I don't know about y'all, but down here where I live in Texas, right, and this is all over, I stay getting an alert. I think it's the Amber Alert when when a child has been abducted or taken. Okay, you have to pay attention to where your children are going and who they're going with. Okay, I used to talk to my kid about strangers. I know my son, he didn't like candy. So, you know, they're like, oh, you want some candy, and then snatch them in the car. No, you have to pay attention to what your child actually likes. So for my son, I used to use the example video games because he liked video games, right? And I'm like, oh, if they tempt you, let's go play video games. Or if they say, oh, your mom sent me, I'm your mom's friend. Don't believe any of that, right? You have to you have to tell your kids, you have to use examples of things that they like. Things that would entice them to get in somebody's car. Things that would entice them to stop and actually listen to what a stranger is saying instead of going the opposite way, okay? And the only way to know that is by spending time with them. That's a whole nother lesson for another day, okay? Teach them to not go places alone, but use buddy systems. The Lord is so good, because I'm gonna tell you, the other night I was laying in bed and I thought about my time in basic training when I first got into the military. And we were not allowed to go anywhere with each other. And I didn't understand it. I'm like, this is silly at first. Like, I go everywhere by myself. No, we had to go in pairs and in groups. And I heard the Lord say, teach them to not go places alone, but to go use a system, go in pairs, go with a friend, go in groups, right? Teach them to be aware of their surroundings. Yes, staying diligent. Staying diligent. Okay? Be aware of their surroundings. You have to teach them to pay attention who's around. What does this person look like? What cars are there? We have to, right? Take the time to know your child's schedule. Half the parents out here don't know their child's schedule. They can't tell you where's your kid. I don't know. That's unacceptable. If you know your child goes to school, they get out of school at this time, it takes this long to get from the bus stop to the house. If you looking out the window, matter of fact, why don't you meet them at the bus stop? Even if they're elementary, high school, I know high school kids, they walk by themselves. But when you know that their bus is about to drop them off, whether they're even if they're in high school, start looking out for them. Be looking out that window. Greet them. Greet them. Practice greeting them at the door. Okay? Know who they're hanging out with. Everybody is not good. We know that bad company corrupts good character. All the friends are not good. Some of these friends are involved in things that they have no business being involved in. Drugs, right? Stealing, breaking and entering, doing all whatever out here, right? Know who your kids are hanging out with. Ask questions. Who's this person? Ask where their parents are. JJ, he used to bring his friends to the house. I would ask all types of questions about the kid's parent. Like, where your mama at? What you eating? All type. You have to ask questions, okay? And they may be like, why are you at? Why I gotta answer all of these things? But it's just good to know, okay? Knowing their friends are important. It is your job. God has given you these children. It is your job to protect them. It is your duty to look after your children. You have to protect them. The parents, we send our kids to school. The teachers take care of our kids for the 8 hours, 7 hours they're learning, right? Just because they go to school and there are teachers doesn't mean that your job as a parent is done. Y'all need to be up in the school. Who is your children's teacher? Do you know who the teacher is? Are you having meetings with every one of their teachers? What are their grades like? Because some parents, your kid is bringing home bad grades, and then y'all want to go fight the teacher or go up to the school, cause havoc at the school because of the grades. And it's like, did you do your part? Did you do your part? Right? Stay involved, even when your child is at school. Okay? You have to look after your kids. And when I give this message is for me too. I had to learn. I didn't always do these things. I had to get it together because our children is a gift. Our children are precious. And I can't imagine anything happening to my child. It's our job to protect our babies. It takes a village. We can't do this by ourselves. It's hard. we know parenting doesn't come with a handbook. It's hard out here. It's very hard. We got these crazy schedules. I've had it before. Had to go to work and go to school, and I thank God that I had a village and people to help me. Pay attention to who's in your circle, right? Take turns. Take turns. Looking after each other's children. It really does lift a burden up, okay? Listen, y'all don't have to put your kids in Uber. Carpooling is still a thing. Try carpooling, right? Take turns so it's not a burden, so you don't feel overwhelmed. That means you have to get along with other parents. That means you gotta, go meet some of the parents. And there are still lots of parents that do go to the bus stop and stuff. Okay, whatever that looks like for you, you have to figure that out. Okay, because everybody's situation is different. Let's talk about feeding your children. Feed them at home, okay? The older kids, they will leave out the school building in the middle of the day to go to the store to get snacks. They'll leave out to go get something to eat, or they'll order food, go out the back door to go get it, right? And they're not supposed to be doing that. Feed your kids at home. That means you might have to wake up a little earlier, right? Meal prep. Feed them some breakfast. Send snacks to school with them, okay? Because these kids are hungry. They're hungry in school. Feed them, all right? Because when they leave out of school, they're in a place where they have no business being. And guess what? They're opening up themselves to being in danger. Okay? 14-year-old girls, 15-year-old girls are being snatched up by traffickers, kidnappers. Okay? They just went out to go get something to eat. They were hungry. And then, next thing you know it, they're no longer seen. So we gotta do our best to try to avoid these situations as best we can. Okay? Again, stay involved with the teachers, but not just the teachers, stay involved with the coaches. Now, a lot of the children play sports, they're in gymnastics, they do dance. Listen, that is not a babysitter, okay? That is not let me drop my child off and then I see you later. No, stay at practice sometimes. Talk to the coaches, because we know that coaches do things to children too. What I mean, coaches be molesting kids. Listen, sexual abuse is real out here. Sexual abuse is real as well as trafficking, okay? Kids become more comfortable with the coaches because the coaches are spending more time with the kid than you are. That's not good. That's not good. Be involved. Don't drop your child off at practice and then, go run errands and stuff. Stay sometimes. Watch your child. Let your child know that you're attentive and that you're there. Okay? Ask lots of questions and stay proactive. Stay proactive. Stay proactive. Talk to other parents. Ask your kids questions. So what if they get tired of it? So what if they say, didn't you ask me that already? So what if they be like, Mom, why are you asking all these questions? Dad, why are you asking all these questions? Because I love you, son. Because I love you, daughter. And I want to know. Okay? This opens the door to build trust. Right? Trust. So they can get the talking. Right? So that's important. That's what I have for you. For you parents, that is the word of the Lord, to be involved. Be involved, okay? That is your responsibility. Your responsibility. Okay? Now, I have a word to leaders. To leaders, okay? And I'm talking about leaders in the body, in the church. God is grieved. He is grieved. Disgusted. I'm shifting gears now. God is grieved. I'm grieved by what some of these leaders are doing. It disgusts me. Some of the leaders need to go back before the Lord and sit. Just sit. Some of the leaders are straying away from my ways, and this grieves me. This is the Lord. Some of the leaders need to come back before me and sit. They're straying away from my ways, and this grieves me. This is a word from the Lord. I am the true shepherd. Relearn, get refreshed, get reacclimated to my ways. You're leading my people astray, and I will deal with you each accordingly. There's a thirst for me, and you are contaminating my truth and my way. Come sit before me. You're charging the body for things that you shouldn't be charging them for. You're watching things you shouldn't be watching. You're talking about things you shouldn't be talking about. You're living a double life. A double life. Greed and fame is what you are seeking. Did you forget that your true treasure is in heaven? Matthew 6:19-21 says, do not store up for yourselves material treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart, which is your wishes, your desires, that on which your life centers, will be also. Matthew 6:19-21. Y'all know the scripture. God says, what really matters to you? What really matters to you? You need to sit before me, and you need to check your heart posture. That is the word from the Lord. That is a word for parents. Be involved. A word to leaders to go before the Lord and sit. Get reacclimated to his ways, to his truth. Hold on. Brody, sit down. Got my dog. It's important. Go sit before the Lord and hear what he has to say. That's all I got for y'all. Happy Tuesday. I love you. Take heed to the Lord's message, to his warning where you can. I love y'all. Bye.